Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Mumphrey, and this is We Will Fix It in Post. I have my co-host with me, Carson Hype Ferguson.
Sure.
And Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
Today, we're talking to a director, writer, producer, and magazine owner. And she goes by the name of Lavern Spruil. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing fine, and thank you again for allowing me to be on your podcast.
Now, your expertise is horror film. So what made you fall in love with horror films?
I love horror, but when it comes to horror films, I just feel like you can get more creative with horror films. And when I say horror films, I'm not really into like the gory, like B-movie horror films, if that's what you want to call it. I mostly do psychological horror films.
Suspense.
Yeah, that like has to have a storyline. I just don't do the slasher movie. Like I can do a film with no blood at all. I know I have a couple of people on my production team, and when I'm writing my scripts and, you know, playing everything out in my head, and then I'm presenting it to them, and they're like, oh, and then we can have this blood, and then she can stab him 54 times, and I'm looking like,
54
no.
times?
Man, what kind of person you on set with? I was going to say, what's your crew like?
What hit team do you have? Oh,
like,
my God.
How much blood did you think we would need? I'm like, none. We only need to see her stab the character. We already know that he's dead because she stabbed him, and we don't need to see her stab him like 54 times and blood splattering all over the place.
Hit her in the clavicle.
You know why too? Because I have OCD, and when I write my characters, I write some of my characters based around me. I'm not a serial killer, but I know that my character would not like to clean up a whole bunch of blood, and she's going to do stuff in a way where she's going to make a clean kill where she doesn't have to do a lot of cleaning, because that's how I am.
You know, that's a good script, OCD serial killer. That's what you should write next.
I just like how you just smoothly went past, I'm not a serial killer. Just want to put that out there.
Well, my last film, The Reeve, was about a doctor who had OCD. And my next film, 333, is about a female serial killer, and she has OCD. So, you know, there's a scene where she kills her sister's husband, and one of the people that's on my production team, they decided that we was going to purchase a bunch of blood, and blood was going to splatter all over the walls. And just by her saying it, I'm like, I was getting OCD just by, I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Because she, you know, that character, she, you know, her house is immaculate. She doesn't like mess. So she's not going to kill someone where there's a whole bunch of mess, because that's just going to drive her crazy. That would drive me crazy.
She's an extreme OCD type person.
Yes, like me.
So, because when I think like killer OCD, my mind automatically goes to Dexter. So would it be something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Because I was like, for a murderer, this dude is incredibly neat.
Yes, like, I love Dexter.
He did all that work before, like, you know, you could have died. He put this much work in his house to bring you in.
To think about it. Yeah.
You're not leaving here alive. He did way too much pre-production here. Like this.
Yeah, something was gonna happen.
Oh no, it's not something. You're dead. Like I didn't do all this work for nothing. You good and
Like-
dead.
Even when before she kills another guy, he looks into her cabinet and like the seasoning and the canned goods, everything's lined up perfectly. And what's crazy is I never really paid attention to it, but one day I opened my cabinet and that's what I was staring at. Like I do those things and I'm not conscious of it, so I'm just like that. I actually wrote that in my script. I had to put stuff like that. It's like when I catch it, I just write it in the script. That's me. You open my kitchen cabinets, like when I was in the military and my family would come visit me and I was constantly cleaning. Somebody, like, I would pick up the plates. At one point, everybody was screaming, like, sit down. Like, but that's just how I am. I'm just like, so I'm a lot better now. It used to be worse.
Oh
I
yeah,
used to be late for
there's different type of OCDs. I have OCD, but it's not extreme. But I have to have certain things in certain areas, and if they're like if I put every day, I'll put my keys, my ID, and my debit card and something like that, and my ID for work in a certain spot. And if it's out of order, then it really messes me up. But I'm okay with organized mess. Is what I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it's called. It's a real thing.
No, I know it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm a
messy.
lot
So
better.
what's an organized mess?
Organized, like extreme OCD is like when you like clean and everything has to be in a certain spot and
my
stuff
father
like
was
that.
that person. He would never let me in his house. I
So-
know extreme.
So organized mess is like I can have clothes on the floor, but they'll have to be in a certain area. I'll get them up. It's not gonna bother me, but I can have them in a certain area on the floor. Extreme
Okay, I got to
OCD
that point.
is not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
have
that
that
was-
stuff on the floor at all. Like they have to pick it up.
That was
Or if
definitely
you walk into their house, you got to take your shoes off. There's no walking in your house with shoes on.
Okay, he wasn't
Okay,
that
that's
bad,
me.
but everything.
I
Oh, bro.
I can't. I just don't understand how people can just like just walk around the house with their shoes on after going outside. It's just like
Yeah. I
It's
know a lot of people
crazy
like
to
that.
me.
I know a lot of people like that. It's a real thing.
I've never met no one to that degree because
Then again, I'm a lot better because I would rather live somewhere now where I have hardwood floors because I mean I got to the point where okay, if you need maintenance to come in or somebody got to come in and repair or you got a delivery person, come on, they gotta have So then I would just mop the floors after they left.
Right.
But if I had company over and had family members visiting, they'll tell you all day, every day, like, Lavern just want us to take our shoes off.
Hey, be like, hey, I know you got that package, but you gotta take them shoes off.
You know
UPS
what?
driver gonna be like, what?
You know what? I used to be so bad that I had purchased the hospital slip-on shoes for the
little
Oh,
booties?
my
The
God.
little
Yeah.
booties? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, before y'all get in here, y'all can look, today y'all can keep your shoes, but make sure y'all get these on.
Put these on.
Exactly.
Don't you think it's a little bit much? Y'all coming into my place. I'm not coming into y'all's. Y'all can put them on or y'all can sit in the car. That is up to you all.
The spirits don't like it.
You know?
I'm just messing with y'all.
That's a good reason to get people to leave. Look,
Right.
spirits don't like y'all in my house.
I'm an introvert anyways. I use that. You think I won't?
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
The spirit,
That is a good
the spirit
one.
be like, don't lie on me.
Shh,
Oh
we
my
need them to
goodness.
leave. Like I always think of like nice little ways to just kind of give people the hint it's time for you to leave. Because all these old ones don't work.
Oh, have you like thought of like acting crazy or just letting them think you're a little
People
crazy?
know me, so it's like it's just Kevin being Kevin. No. Like, hey, there's a lot going on in life, isn't it? Should probably go out there and find out.
Not me.
No,
Like,
me, I just cut off the lights and go to sleep
I'm
on
like,
people.
I'm throwing you out like Martin.
Oh, I was thinking Uncle Phil like Martin. Phil. Oh, get the stepping.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I've never seen Martin.
Say what? You gotta watch it. You
wanna
gotta
know
watch
what's
the
crazy?
episode.
I was filming a couple of days ago at one of my family members' home, and they were talking about Martin, and they was like, "Do you remember that episode?" And I looked
And
at
you're
them
just
and I
sitting
said,
there.
I said, "I've never seen Martin," and all of them said, "You did what?" Exactly. Yeah. Like what?
You're literally the
No,
first
I've
black
never-
person I've spoken to in my entire life that has never watched Martin.
I've never watched one episode. I mean, there had to be something that was going on in my life at the time, or I was watching.
Guess what? I'm
something
literally
else.
getting ready to ask. Like, what were you doing at this time in life?
Yeah. What year did it come out?
Oh
What
my
year did
God.
Martin come out?
I believe 93.
90 something, early 90s.
Definitely early 90s.
How many? I don't even know how many seasons he had.
I believe
he had
four.
quite a bit, didn't he?
4 or 5.
4 or
Not as
5,
many as he
something.
could have had, because
I know it's over 100. He had over 100 episodes.
Yeah, but the seasons were longer.
Huh.
His seasons were longer than normal seasons.
5 seasons, 1992.
Mm.
So what was going on in 1992 that you couldn't watch Martin?
Probably a whole lot of.
Well, you know what? I used to watch stuff like Charlie's Angels. Like I've always wanted to be
Charlie's
a
Angel.
detective.
Oh.
I always wanted to be a private detective. And in the 90s, I was actually going to school for private investigation.
Mm.
That's
And-
probably why.
Yeah, and it's crazy because everything that I do, everything that I try to apply myself to, I'm like an overachiever, and I got like straight A's in this class and everything, and I did I did so well, but in my mind, I'm like I'm doing good because I'm thinking once I graduate, I'm going to be I'm going to be a detective for the police force. Not even having my mind that like you're going to private investigation school. This has nothing to do with the police force. It was that's just like a funny joke. But when I graduated, I got hired. I got a real good job after I graduated because I did so well in the school. I got a job with the PNC Bank Operational Center, but I worked there for about 3 years, and then from there I joined the military. But that's what I was doing around the time. I wanted to be, because even now, how I say horror, but my writing and my films are really like psychological horror. Like I like The Fathers of the Lambs. I like stuff dealing with detectives and or stuff where, you know, as you go along with the story, it just keeps it keeps you the suspense. It's like what's going to happen next.
Oh, so you like Halloween? Was Halloween one of them?
I didn't like Halloween. Halloween scared the out of me.
You know, that is one of my favorite.
Yeah, the first Halloween that creeped me out. Like I'm the type of person that horror films and films where a big man, so to speak, can break into your home and kill you. That kind of stuff creeps me out.
Oh,
Spirits and ghosts
don't creep you out.
don't creep me out. Something that can actually happen, like a huge man like breaking into your home and stabbing you with a knife. Serial killer, even though I have serial killers in my films and stuff, but that kind of stuff creeps me out more than spirits and ghosts.
That's crazy.
But you can shoot
Yeah.
him.
Spirits and ghosts
You
creep me
can't.
out.
You can't shoot the ghost.
Well,
Like,
I don't think that spirits and ghosts are evil. People in your mind, they're afraid of them and make them evil. Like, I have good spirits that follow me wherever I go. Like, I stay blessed. Like, they protect me. So I don't believe that there are evil spirits. They're like human beings are evil.
They definitely are.
Yes.
6 feet, 200 and something pound man with muscle with a big giant knife running after you that can physically stab you 54 times. That's evil. That kind of stuff creeps me out.
Man, you stuck
Even
in this
when
54 times.
I know. Even when I watch horror films, I'm like, I tend to watch horror films that's dealing with like the supernatural, like spirits and stuff like that. I don't really watch a lot of horror films with like Friday the 13th.
Oh no, Jason scares me.
Yeah, stuff like that. I didn't really watch a lot of that stuff.
So, what, like I said, growing up, what kind of horror films were you watching?
It's crazy. It's gonna sound funny, but I did like Frankenstein. I felt like he was so misunderstood.
well, he really
I like
was.
Frankenstein. I like the special that Abbott and Costello did with the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein.
You like the classics.
Sort of, yeah, the classics. The newer stuff, I do like a lot of stuff like Silence of the Lamb. I like psychological horror films.
Well, what about
though, yes, that is serial killers, I still like to watch stuff like what's the film that Morgan Freeman played in?
He's been in everything.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
A horror film that he was
and
in?
you wouldn't even consider that a horror film.
Suspense film?
Oh,
Yeah.
Seven.
Well, yeah, I like Seven too.
I've never
All the
seen
films
it, but
that he
I've seen like
played
clips in
in.
it.
What about?
Yeah, I like.
What about The Thing?
Yeah, I love The Thing.
Like that's crazy. And to me, I'm like watching that like it's a documentary. I'm like, yo, this all this can happen in real life. I should probably turn this off right now.
Yeah, The Thing, that's the classic. I like Aliens. I like Aliens a lot. Along Came a Spider with Morgan Freeman. I like stuff like that.
Now, what about the Saw series?
No, I don't see that. That's not entertaining to me.
Too gory.
It's stupid horror.
Too gory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to hear people say psychological thriller, they go to that Saw
I like
franchise.
Smart. Yeah, I like smart, intelligent horror films. Kiss the Girl, suspense, psychological horror. I consider. You want to know what's crazy? Okay, when I released my short film, The Reeds, I labeled that as like psychological thriller. But then when it was going through the film festival circuit, they were labeling it as horror. And I'm like, why are they doing that? And then somebody told me anything that when you're showing anything that's dealing with a zombie, because there was a and it wasn't even, it was probably like not even 10 seconds glimpse of a zombie in my film. Like whenever you show something like that, it's horror, but I just couldn't understand that. So, you know, and ever since then it was just like, okay, this is what but I wouldn't consider what I do horror, because my next film, it's like as I'm writing it and I have people around me and I'm like, oh, this is going to be scary, but I keep writing it, but I'm writing more so like a storyline.
Right.
So you're not writing for like, I guess like points of like, okay, this will be a scary part, or this will be a part where you enhance fear.
Well, I start off with the story, how I wanted to come across to the audience, and then I'll fill in the blanks with with the scary music, jump scares, and the horror, just to make it scary. Because I do love. I think I can be a little bit more creative with when with horror than love stories and dramas and stuff like that. So it is a thriller. Like The Call, I didn't consider that scary, but till this day, I have friends that watch that and they're like freaked out over it. I'm like, why? It's not even scary. Like, that's scary. And if somebody told me, it's like, it's not scary to you because you're the one that's filming and writing and directing it, but it's scary to the viewer. I'm like, oh, I really didn't think that movie was scary.
Was The Call even
all.
scary? Have y'all seen The Call?
I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
I don't think it was scary. It wasn't scary.
Anything with scary
Yeah,
music in it, I don't look at.
Yeah, see, that's what it is. You have people that are like real scary, when they first hear that music.
It really works because it's like, something's going to happen, but I don't know when it's going to happen.
Because that's Halloween. Think about it. Halloween is scary because of the music. Halloween scared the mess out of me because of the music. But if you really look at Halloween and you don't think about that music, it's really not that scary.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I want to watch it. If I have to watch it at all.
On mute.
No, not even on mute. I want the music to be something you would put on like a Disney film.
Wow.
I remember we used to watch so many scary movies. It's not even funny. I remember
I have literally never said that in my life.
And it's like man, like I remember going to theaters so many times. And I remember we went to the theaters to watch that Ring movie.
Oh God! So
And
I really hate. I saw maybe 3 minutes of that.
yeah.
I saw up to the beginning until the girl got out the TV.
And then you stopped.
Like turn that off.
No, I didn't even say that. I didn't realize I could run fast, but apparently I can. And I was on a date when this happened. That date ended. It was over. Realized I ain't even like her that
Did
much.
she call? I'm finna say, did she call you afterwards?
She was in the theater. I thought I was in the car.
Oh wow.
You know me. I don't, like sometimes I don't exercise my filter very well, and back then it was even worse.
It was even worse.
I remember I was at a restaurant, and this girl was like, "Oh, we just saw that movie yesterday." I was like, "Oh, well, we got 7 days to live, and you got 6." And she really? And she was like,
"Why?"
You did that to a stranger?
Yeah. It was like my homeboy's girl or something. Like that's my first time meeting her.
And that's the first thing that you said?
Yeah, dude, you should have seen her eyes like kind of gloss over. She's like, she really thought about it, and I was like, oh, I said it out loud.
Yeah. Wait, did you?
All right.
Oh, that happened. I'm glad. That's actually worse than my story. But no, I definitely didn't watch the rest of the Ring. Ooh, I had a little bit of
I think the was it Ring 3? I think they came out
There's
with the
3
third
of them?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The third one was real good.
I'll take your word for it.
As that franchise evolved, it was like really, really good.
Oh, what's that movie with Halle Berry in it? It was a you say it was a scary movie, but I didn't think it was because I watched it.
She played in a horror film?
Yeah.
Monster.
I was thinking horrible film, but not horror.
I was gonna say,
You know what?
Like her playing Catwoman was horrible.
Let me tell you something. Halle Berry, when she played in Jungle Fever, she was good.
Really?
When she played the crackhead.
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
remember that. Oh yeah, she killed.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that was Halle Berry.
Gothica. That's the
exactly.
name
And
of
you
it.
know,
Oh, good.
oh,
Lord.
Gothica.
That's
That
the
was
name
pretty
of it.
good.
It was pretty good because I watched it the whole way through, and I was okay with it.
She was a good actress in Jungle Fever.
Now, you know I'm
You
not
know, I
watching
just-
nothing
I
that has
just-
gothic in it. No way near.
Now
That's probably
Gothica.
why I never even heard of it.
That Gothica is a that's a horror film, and I'm trying to, when I do the editing for 333, that's what the level that I'm trying to get on, because it you it has a storyline. It's just not. It's not one of those horror slasher films,
Right.
but it's still scary.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
though. That's what's up.
Yeah, I forgot about that film.
Okay,
She
so
did
how do
actually
y'all
play in a horror
kind of?
film.
Because I don't know about this stuff. How do y'all gauge what's considered a good horror film? Because as soon as I hear music, I'm gone. So that it works very easy for me. Y'all probably have a more of a tolerance for this stuff.
I mean, I have a small I'm not finna watch something that's gonna scare the shit out of me. Like I don't like horror. Like really, I don't.
You like it more than I do.
There's
I didn't know.
there's
I
a
didn't know
certain
you didn't
amount.
like horror.
There's a certain amount that I like.
You
right?
can take your teaspoon.
Right. So let me give you. I mean, it when I was younger, like my cousins used to make me watch horror films, and that's where my love and hate relationship came from. It because they would make me like they would sit in the living room. I had to go over there because my aunt was babysitting me. I have nowhere else to go, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna watch some movies." Cool. So you have Child's Play. You got all these other. It would scare the crap out of me.
Child's Play freaked me out.
You know.
Stephen King's It had me like walking to the center of the street.
See, stuff like that don't scare me though.
See, no, that it's not. And it's weird. The old one,
Yeah.
then I still didn't watch it, but it didn't bother me. I just thought it's weird to have a clown.
No,
Child's
it-
Play,
that new one,
the Leprechaun, and
that and that little
Leprechaun in the
creepy
Hood.
dance. Ooh,
No. When it like I haven't seen the new one, but like I remember when that first came out, and I remember I looked at the little drain, and I walked to the center of the road. It did walk back to the other side because I'm like, oh, he ain't getting me. I ain't no sucker.
Nah, it just like Leprechaun in the Hood. Like I wouldn't
I
wouldn't
didn't-
go outside. Like I did not go outside for a while when the nighttime
Leprechaun
came.
in the Hood scares you?
Yes.
see that stuff don't
That
scare
is
me.
weird. I didn't even think of it as a horror film.
Yeah, that was. Like,
But have you
dark
seen
comedy.
all of the Well, you haven't because you
I
don't
haven't
like horror.
seen the Leprechaun.
I done
have seen Leprechaun in the
space.
Hood.
I see Leprechaun in
So
space.
if you've seen all of the Leprechauns? Like I was introduced to Leprechaun, right? So it was like it was scary. You just seen the Hood one. You ain't
Yeah,
seen the one
but-
with Jennifer Aniston in it or none of it.
No, see, I didn't even knew Jennifer Aniston was even a part of it.
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah, had no idea. So usually when I hear like the horror film is in like, whoever the horror person is in space or in the hood, y'all just we're at the end. Y'all ain't got no more ideas.
So, was it what's
Usually they avoid the hood.
What's that one joint? Dr. Giggles. It was the B movie one, whatever, where the doctor was like cutting people open, stuff like Busta Rhymes was in it.
I think I know what
wow.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember we saw that, and I was like, yo, that's not
like
cool.
comedy.
That's not
Right.
cool.
But Busta Rhymes was in one of the Halloweens, and that wasn't a good Halloween though.
Yeah.
That's the one with Busta Rhymes and what's the model?
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks. They win that one.
Yeah.
That one sucked.
Yeah, it started getting stupid.
Very.
So, because again, I don't watch this stuff. So, is there a point when they start putting like some? Because I know, I think they've had Kim Kardashian in some horror film. She got killed real
What?
quickly.
I didn't know that either.
She was in Scary Movie, I think. One of the
But
scary
that's
movies.
that's not horror. I mean that's not scary.
look,
That's a comedy.
Yeah, I'm taking y'all word for it.
You never seen? That's a comedy though. You
I've
never seen
one
scary
of-
movie?
I just in
The
case.
Child's
not even-
Play with the. Is that the one with the dog?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Child's Play is the one.
Oh.
Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah, Chucky. That don't scare me. Like anything like Leprechaun and like dolls and like little people. Like I could just.
So anything
picture them
short
like
doesn't scare you.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I'm 5'10".
hey, look. If that mug's 6 foot, 6 foot
That's a
2.
different story.
That mug's
That's a
6
different
foot
story.
2.
So anything Scream, Jason, Halloween, Michael Myers, anything that scares you. But anything shorter than you don't scare you. I got you.
If it's like
Yeah.
5 feet, 5'8" and under, you're not really worried about it.
I'm telling
I'm
you
sitting
that.
here talking right now on the second floor. If a dog came up here like with a knife, like with menacing eyes looking at me, I'm just gonna look at them like laughing.
Yeah,
like if they,
Man.
I could just like kick them.
I'm like, nah, that dog was kind of that was a creepy dog for real.
I'm actually
my
like
goodness.
picturing that situation you just made. And I'm just imagining go, hey, y'all, hold on for a sec. Let me take care of something real quick.
The dog trying to steal your soul though, and then he probably got like ultra human strength.
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
He like pinned the little boy down.
It was a little boy though.
Yeah, but the boy is 3 times size of the dog, and he pinned him down like he wasn't nothing.
But it was a white boy.
No, you know.
Why did you?
Why
did you do?
Come on.
I think with those films, it's not so much that it's like a little leprechaun and a doll. I just thought the writing was bad. It was just stupid. I don't like watching stupid films. I don't care if it's horror. I don't care if it's comedy. I don't care if it's drama. I'm just like, my attention span. Like when I was watching Beetlejuice, I got up and left the theater and left my date there. I was just like, I don't like dumb films. I'm a little bit.
Call me when you're done watching this stupidity.
Damn. Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Was that even supposed to be a horror?
Nah, it was almost like a.
It was like a
comedy.
Comedy musical slash.
I wasn't. Yeah, I just don't like stupid films. I don't care if it's horror.
Real silly. It was real silly.
If you ever just kind of watch, especially going back to like Chucky or whatever, and you see like how they trying to act off like they're fighting Chucky, they're just moving all over the place. Like, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't
you
even
go
think
back.
I watched Chucky all the way through. I haven't watched the Leprechaun or any of those films straight through.
If you go back,
I might probably walk past to get some something out the refrigerator, and a family member was watching it.
If you look back, it's stupid. It's really like I was like, Chucky was on Sci-Fi one day, and I just kind of looked at it, and I'm like, why was I so scared of this doll? And you can see it. You can see it. Like that scene where Chucky goes and like attacks one of the adults, and I'm just like, what? I was scared of this.
Yeah, I think once you got taller than the doll itself.
Oh yeah, maybe that's
like, come on, are you serious?
Come at me, bro.
Y'all losing fights to this?
That man, them little legs are swinging.
So as of today, like, are there any good like suspense thrillers or mystery thrillers that have come out today?
There's actually a bunch. I mean, I Am Legend is a suspense thriller. It's not really a horror.
House on Haunted Hill.
House on Haunted Hill.
What's the
that's on Netflix.
World War Z. That's a thriller.
But so. What do you categorize as zombie films? What are they? Are they horror? Are they like what are they?
Oh, survival horror.
I didn't even knew there were these like types of horror.
Yeah,
survival horror. I've never even heard of that.
I mean, like The Walking Dead, stuff like that. It's where you pretty much put yourself in that situation and try to live out through the characters and see which ones you relate to the most. I mean, like it's typical end of the world stuff. I mean,
like survival movies.
Yeah, if you really think about it, like was it like Lost?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
off.
I wanted to correct myself. It was House on the Haunting on Hill House, the Haunting of Hill House. I said House on Haunted Hill. That was very good on Netflix. You have to watch that.
Either way, I wasn't watching that. So
don't worry. We're gonna get we're gonna get him up on like The Conjuring or something like that.
Y'all can give me the comic book.
Is good. Stuff like that is good.
Is it in a comic book? I'll read it, but I'm not finna watch it.
Oh, have you seen the Conjuring, the one that just came out?
No,
not yet.
I don't even like that name. That name alone sounds scary.
I went to the movies to see that.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. You know, most of the time I'll go to the movies by myself because there's not a lot of people. It's hard.
There's not a lot of people.
But I would go to the movies with, I will go by myself. I will sit in the movie theater by myself and watch a horror film. It doesn't bother me.
So do you like watch it like during like the matinee time or?
Yeah, I do.
I know I do that too.
I will go when it's still daylight outside. So when I leave, it's still daylight out. But yeah, I'll go by myself.
Yeah, I've done that before.
I don't need the whole movie going experience. I just need the screen.
Right. Because you ain't got that at the house, so you just need that big screen. It's been times where I was in there.
I must say that the last Conjuring, that movie scared the mess out of me. It was scary.
Honestly, that's it. If it scares you,
there's a
that is the seal of approval for me.
There's a few
Stay
times
far away from it.
There's a few times where I turn all the lights on after I watch a couple of them movies, and I'll be like, man,
you know what does that for me is when I watch those documentary about serial killers, and I'm like, let me check everything because somebody might bust through my door.
Yeah, I don't like watching the documentaries about serial killers.
Wait. So
I just like to write about them.
But what you just like to write about them?
Too real.
It's
just too real.
It's because they 6 foot tall.
Documentaries. I'm trying to tell you, like, the documentaries are too real. It's like in my face, and I don't want to.
Is it the fact that like it actually happened?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like watching the serial killer films really freak me out, but I don't know, like my last two. My last film, Dr. Reeves, was about a serial killer. This film is about a serial killer. But I'm not really into watching someone else's serial killer film, if that makes sense. And I sure don't like watching the documentary because that creeps me out anymore because it's just too real for me. Even in 333, it's more, to me, I'm writing, Sarah's a female serial killer, but she's not the typical serial killer. She's not like the Michael Myers serial killer. She's not like the slasher serial killer. Like, I'm going to just go out there and just kill anybody just for no reason.
Right.
The way that I wrote her character, I wanted you to, like, still, like, embrace her and want to know more about her. Like, maybe she has a backstory. And when she kills in my film, the two times that you actually see her kill someone, it was for a good reason. So she's not your typical serial killer. I put it to you that way. And it's just like my film 333, it's more dealing with like spirits and ghosts because that's what I experienced. So me sitting here, like when I hang up with you guys, I know it's going to be like dark outside soon. I'm not going to sit here and watch a serial killer documentary. That's just like those type of things creep me out. The supernatural spirits and stuff like that. That stuff don't creep me out.
So when your films about the serial killer, like, do you do any so how do you kind of research necessarily serial killers?
I do a little research, like with Dr. Reeves. One of my favorite films is Silence of the Lamb, and I've seen Silence of the Lamb like a million times. But Dr. Reeves is just a character that I created, and I'm going to reiterate this. I'm not a serial killer, but his personality was sort of, a lot of my characters, almost all of my characters have a little of me in them, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So, besides the killing part. So
that's just something you added.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that clarification.
And I watch a lot of horror films. Like I watch a lot of, for instance, Dexter. We keep talking about horror, but when you think about it, like I love, first of all, I love film. I love everything that has to do with film. Like I'm the person that when I'm watching a film, I see everything. I'm looking at the lighting. I'm looking at the editing. I'm looking at the production. I'm picturing myself actually sitting in the room as the writers are writing this scene and this season, this episode. And I'm like, yo, these are people are genius. Like, I want to sit in the writing room with these people. Like, who came up with this storyline? I'm that type of person. So I watch a lot of films. so coming up with the character, Dr. Reeves, that's like years and years of watching like dope film, dope writing. You know, people just putting a lot of like their creativity on paper and showing and displaying it to the viewers. But I'm that viewer. Like, I analyze everything. Unfortunately, sometimes I'm like, Lavern, just enjoy the film. Like, I'm just watching everything. I'm that person. Not only do I watch everything, I'm looking at the credits.
Like a true filmmaker.
The credits, I'm just like, yo, like, you did that right there. Yo, Dan, you did that. Joe, you did that over there. Yeah, I'm looking at the credits for everybody that put every little nick and cranny into that one little episode. So it's not so much doing my research on a serial killer. It's just years and years of experience and just loving film and just, you know, looking at different characters and just watching how they move and how they act. And when I write my scripts and I write my characters, I'm basing it on that, but I'm also, again, adding my life experiences, things that I went through, my personality, you know. That's what makes it, and that's why it's so easy for me to come up with these characters, because like I can do something today, and I wrote 333, and when I tell you I revised that script probably like 20 different times, because I will come up with something and I will add it to the script. There's things in this film that I wrote in the script that the majority of the cast members have no clue, and I do that all the time. I want them to be surprised when I actually show it in a movie theater and they're sitting there. I want them to be surprised when they were watching the call film. Like, half the cast members like, when did this happen? When did you film this? When did you add this? I like that surprise. So I'm doing the same thing with 333. There's a lot of things like I can, when I hang up with you guys today, like probably 2 hours from now, I'll think of something, I'll write it down, and I'll add it to the script. I'll share it with a couple of people on my production team. Like, what do you think about this? And they're like, yeah, right, that's dope. But I just love it. I just love film.
So how many times do you rewrite? Like, once you're done with the script and you go back, how many times do you go back until you finally say, okay, I'm done?
After the editing is done.
Oh, so you don't. You just go with it.
Exactly. Like, with the call film, we were actually on set, and you know, that's a whole story in itself. That was a film that really wasn't something that I came up with, but my name was attached to it, and the film that it belonged to, they disappeared. And because my name was attached to it, and I'm the type of person that, you know, there's a lot of people that purchased plane tickets and, you know, they took off work, and you had all these kids that was excited about being in this film. And I'm just not going to be that person to be like, oh, well, the film's not going to go on because I can't find this person.
Right.
So I made do. You know, I rented an Airbnb, and, you know, I went in my pockets and I paid for everything, you know, out of my pockets. And the person, when they wrote the script, like, it was just like, it wasn't complete. So while we were on set, I came up with a lot of that stuff while we were on set.
Improvise.
I would walk into a room and I'm looking at the room and I'm like, you know what? And then I'll go downstairs. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. So come over here. You two come over here. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. So this scene, and that's how I come up with stuff. I can come up with stuff on the spot, and if I have to, just it there's a scene where I feel like I need to push the envelope to make it more creative. That's what I'm going to do. So even in the editing process with the call, I felt like the script was so bad that um and I don't want to say the script was bad. I tried to sit with the person and tell them like we have to sit down and we have to do a table reading, because I felt like sat if she sat down and did a table reading, she would hear it as we're reading it, that like we need to expand this. You need to like you just can't introduce a character without really having the viewer get to know this character.
Right.
Like maybe he can wake up and like brush his teeth, like put his shoes on, like walk down the street, you know, talk to the neighbor. Like, let's introduce him. Like, let's get to know him. And like, why? Why do we need to do that? Like, the viewer's gonna know that when he woke up, he did this, and I'm like, okay. But it was just like the script was so robotic. It was like I didn't know the characters. So, with the call, that's how we did the call film. So on set, it was like I just came up with stuff. The majority of that film was stuff that I actually came up with on set, because the script only had 15 pages, and we all know that's probably like a 10-minute film, but it was supposed to be a feature film. And I'm just like, this is not even enough pages for a feature film.
Oh, wow.
And the film was 50 minutes because I stretched it to make it 50 minutes.
So
I only had 15 pages.
All that you came up with on the fly?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot. It really is.
Yeah. There's really not an official script for the call film, because I came up with a lot of that stuff on set.
Now, did you kind of leave kind of room for your actors to kind of use improvisation as well?
Oh, yes. Yes. The little girl, her name is Ayana. She plays young Luella. And there was this doll that was in the house, and everybody was afraid of this doll. They would hide the doll from me, because I kept looking at the doll like, that doll is going to be in this film. I don't know what she's going to do yet, but she's going to be in this film. And they kept hiding the doll from me because nobody wanted to look at the doll. You want to know what's crazy? I have so many cast members, people that's on my production team. They're so excited to be a part of what I'm doing, but every last one of them are afraid of horror. Every last one of them, like when we're filming, they all creeped out. I'm like, how do you want to be a part of this, but you creeped out? So on the set of the call, we were like in this big house. You know, it was a old fashioned Victorian house. It had like a character, and there was this doll, and everybody kept hiding that doll. Finally, I found the doll, and I put the doll in a rocking chair. And a little girl, Ayana, she was so good that she came up. I actually gave her credit. That's another thing about me. Like when I have people on set, it doesn't matter if you came to help me cook meals or you came to help me set up lights or something. I'm going to give people credit for everything that they do. And I actually gave her credit for that scene, because she came up with all of that dialogue that she did in that scene with the doll in the rocking chair, like off the top of her head. Those are the things we did the entire time we were filming that movie. It was a low budget movie, but at the same time, it was just like the cast members had fun, the kids had fun, and afterwards, I gave them, I showed the film in a movie theater, and I had an award ceremony, and I gave everybody a trophy. But I wanted to do that film. I actually do that with all my films. I have like award ceremonies, like red carpet events and stuff like that.
Yes, that's what's up.
Now you saying you've directed adults and children. So what's the difference in your style of directing as far as dealing with children?
With the children, I feel like it's much easier. It's so much easier with the kids because they not only are they having fun with it, but you don't necessarily have to. I feel like the kids are much natural with it, where they don't try to go word for word with what's on the script. If that makes sense, I think that the adults try too hard to try to go with, everything that's in. And another thing, I feel like most of my adult cast, I have to keep reminding them to just be yourself. I don't want you to try to play a part because I wrote this character for you. I wrote this character based on your personality. With all my films, I know the majority of my cast members, and when I write that character, I write that character based on their personality. And I don't it's just like I don't want you to act. I don't want you to they try too hard to play a role. They try too hard to play a character in their mind. Like, I think this character would do this, but no, you did. For instance, Sarah, the serial killer Sarah is played by someone that I personally know, and I based her character on this person. And I keep trying to reiterate to her, you're this person. You just happen to be a serial killer. I don't want you to do any acting. With the kids, it just comes natural to them to just be themselves.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun with the kids too. They have fun with it. They have its pros and cons, because when I tell you the kids, you can spend a lot of hours with the kids because they're being silly. And it's like you gotta sit there and wait till they get their silliness out of them, and they're laughing and they're giggling and they're playing off each other. When you got all of them together, and it's just like, so. But besides that, it's a lot of fun. But that's the difference between that I've experienced with the adult cast and the kids cast. I feel like the adult cast tend to go off track a little bit and try to overact, so to speak. And I don't really like that, because you can tell, you can pick that up on camera, especially when you're dealing with I have strong actors that I cast, and I have cast members who are not strong actors, but they're strong actors because the way that I wrote this character is based on your personality, is based on you, so you don't have to really act. I just want you to be yourself. And when you're being yourself, it appears that you're a strong actor. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're I think they kind of, even in sports, like I guess I can use basketball, you kind of build a team around people's skill sets.
Exactly.
But you have to kind of remind them that you're this person. Like, I'm basically having you do. I just need you to be you, so you don't have to overthink it.
Well, the problem is, like, a lot of people want to go outside of their roles.
Yeah.
Especially in today's environment. Like somebody that's like, a certain role player.
Everybody want to be the star.
There you go.
Yeah, that I definitely simplified that one. Everybody wants to be the star.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, this wasn't meant for you to be the star. You're gonna die on page 6. Sorry. I mean, you can die a star's death, but I mean, you're still gonna be dead by page 6.
Like Black Hole Star, where it implodes on itself.
Man, you're talking as if I've seen this. I don't watch none of this.
What is the name of the movie?
No, I'm saying he said you're gonna die like a star, and I started thinking about black holes. You know, like when a star dies, it basically like, you know.
He's talking about science.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about a movie, The Black Hole.
I did too.
I didn't see that.
I was like,
I didn't
that
see
even
that
sound. That sound like a movie I didn't watch either.
Oh man.
You really don't like horror.
No. I don't like being scared. My thing is, I don't want to pay money
I don't even
to
like
be
that
scared.
word.
So,
Yeah, I don't like the word at all. Or haunted houses.
You probably seen Event Horizon.
That sounds like a video game.
No, that was the one with Larry, right? Or Lawrence Fishburne.
Maybe.
They were in space and they're going to this black hole. Come to find out, like it was like going toward like the devil or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
What was this in the 90s or what?
It was like early 2000s.
Invite you to the premiere of my film.
Yeah, Kevin.
What?
All three of you.
We all of us going.
I heard all 2.
I need to invite you because
I don't mind being invited, but
no. But you know what? My mother hates horror.
my mother does too. That's where I get it from.
Yeah, my mother don't watch horror. She don't like horror, but she read all of my books. And not only did she love the books, she like gave me pointers, and she watched my short film, The Reeves. And after reading my book, The Reeves, she told me, she said, I really, really, really like this book. She said, I like the book better than the short film. She like, this needs to be your next feature film. And my mother don't like horror films.
Now, was your mother kind of your motivation to like turn your screenplays into books?
No, I was already thinking about turning my screenplays into books. I mean, my screenplays into books. It all started with the pandemic. Really, I was bored, and I was quarantined alone in San Antonio, Texas. I decided I wanted to move back to San Antonio, Texas, and I wasn't really looking at the news. I'm not really on social media a lot. I'll go on social media and promote. If it wasn't for my magazine business and trying to promote, I would not be on social media. I really don't care too much for social media. So I really wasn't taking the pandemic when it first started. I wasn't taking it serious. You know, like a couple of my family members was reaching out to me and they was like, you better go to the supermarket, you better do this. And I'm just like, I was just like too busy. I wasn't really, long story short, I went to San Antonio. And I'm like, I want to go back to San Antonio because, you know, you can go to San Antonio and you can live in a nice 2-bedroom, cheap, swimming pool, gym, movie theater, all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm going to go relax. So I moved back to San Antonio, Texas, and I find out that I'm in the middle of a freaking pandemic. Like, you can't leave the house. I don't have no toilet paper. So I was just sitting in San Antonio. I started getting like depressed. You know, I was able to, thank God, use my phone to have like groceries and water and stuff delivered to my house. But I was just sitting there, like no human interaction or anything. So I just got on my computer and I started typing, and I came up with this storyline based on me being quarantined in my home alone and just going crazy and living with spirits. And I was writing it to make it a little bit more creative, but that's when I came up with 333. 333 was really based on me being quarantined alone in my apartment. And as the quarantine lifted and, we started going out and doing things, 333 just kept evolving. It kept evolving to the point where I changed it where we no longer wear masks. You know what I'm saying? Like the first script, it was just like everybody was wearing a mask. Like she couldn't leave the house. Everything that I was doing. And, a friend of mine reached out to me and she was telling me, she was like, what are you working on? And I told her, well, I'm working on this film. This was way before the book. And I want to film this movie. And this was when, restrictions started letting out. They was letting people come out, the quarantine was over and stuff. And she said, I want to be in your film. And I was telling her, I said, I was thinking about it and I was like, well, I don't have the way that I wrote the film. It was like based really on one character, which was me. And I didn't feel like she could play that character. I didn't have an actress yet to play that character, but I didn't think that with her personality, she could play that character. And she was just like, she just wanted to work. She didn't care what she did, but she didn't want to do like a Zoom character because, with the COVID around that time, I was thinking about doing something where, one of the characters could talk to a doctor through Zoom because I was talking to my doctor through Zoom. And she's like, I don't want to do like a character through Zoom. I want to be like in person. Like, I just want to be in one of your films in person. So I hung out with her and I thought to myself, out of all the years that I've known her, that was the most emotion that I've gotten out of her. Like, she's really a quiet person, reserved. She's just like, sometimes I can't read her. And when I hung out with her, that like, it just stuck in my head. And I was staring at my computer and I came up with the character, the serial killer, Sarah, based on her character. I came up with the serial killer, Sarah, based on my friend's personality.
Or who she was.
That was exactly, because she was always reserved. She was always quiet. She would sit in the corner and I would be like, yeah, you're okay. I'll talk to her. She'll smile. And I'm like, oh, is she okay? Like, I could never read her. So I called her and I said, okay. I said, you could be in the film. I said, but guess what? This is your character. You're going to be, your name is, your character is Sarah, and she's a female serial killer based in the 1960s. And when I tell you, she was like, you would have thought I just told her she hit the lottery. She was so happy. She, oh my God, I always wanted to play a serial killer.
Oh wow.
And that's how I came up with the character for the serial killer for 333. That's not even again, this is way before I even wrote the book. So and in the book, the book talks more about the character that's in present time in 2021 quarantine. But in my film, I decided to do the majority of the story is about the storyline with the serial killer, Sarah, from the book. Because I just thought that would be a little bit more creative and creepy.
Creative and creepy.
I trust your judgment on that.
I like creative and creepy.
Now, usually you hear that people that write as a book and then the book gets turned into a screenplay. So do you feel like there'll be more of something like, and you write your screenplay and make it a film, then turn it into a book. Is that kind of a practice you think you'll be doing more of?
No. I wrote 4 books in less than 3 months, and it almost killed me. Like my brain was fried.
So you're done with the book writing for the moment.
I'm done with the book writing. I'm just like, I don't consider myself an author. That happened by accident. There was a client that wanted our company to ghostwrite a book for her. And it wasn't going the way that she wanted it to. And, being that my name, this is my business, LV Media, LV, Lavern Spruil Publishing. I felt like I wanted to help her. So I told her to send me the manuscript. Come to find out, she never had a manuscript. She came to our company with, that's another story, but there was no manuscript. So, but I still wanted to help her because she had reached out to all these people, and, she did pre-sales, and she had a deadline for her book. And I said, okay, I'm going to help you. So what I did was I wrote this book for her. And when I tell you, I was waking up 6 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the morning, writing this book for her. Ooh. And it was any and everything that I experienced in my childhood, my adulthood, my cousins, my aunts, my favorite movies. I threw some of my favorite movies in there. Dead Presidents is one of my favorite movies. I put some of that stuff in there, influence from that movie. And I wrote the book for her. And she didn't want to pay me for whatever reason. She didn't want to pay me. So, and
what was her reasoning?
You know what? I just felt like she just didn't want to just pay the rest of the money. So she created this imaginary beast. I can't call it sometimes. Yeah, one time I sat with my cousin. I said, I was like having this pity party. I was like, why do people do these things? And my cousin like, Lavern, it's just like people just like that. You just can't question it. Some people just, you know what I mean? So I never forget when she said that to me. So whenever people go left, I don't question it. Some people are just like that. But the crazy thing is that, I was proud of myself because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I actually wrote a book about something that had nothing to do with horror, had nothing to do with suspense, thriller, psychology. It's like far left. And I actually put that on paper. That Portrait of an African American Girl is like by far my favorite out of everything that I put on paper. I hope to make that into a film one day, but I would only make that into a film if I had industry money. That's how good I think it is. I can't, that's not low budget. I would never even attempt to even try that. But I thought to myself, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and publish this book and, change the name. I came up the top of my head, Portrait of an African American Girl. That's what I named it. I sold it on Amazon. And because I wrote the book so fast and I was sending it to a couple of people that I know that are writers, and I'm like, what do you think? Now, I'm no author. I don't write books. And they were like impressed. And they, why don't you? And the thing is, they were telling me, why you never wrote a book before? And I'm just like, the reason why it's like how I am, like how I was in high school, how I was when I was in college. If I had to do something, I'm the type of person, I went to college when I was in the military, because I had to go to college in order to stay in the military and get points and get promoted. I don't want to go to college. I can't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to get good grades because that's what I have to do. I had to write this book, and I went and I did my research, and I did it in a way where I was helping this person. I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it correctly. I'm going to add some creativity to it. I'm going to write it where the readers are like, wow, because that's what I have to do.
Right.
So I had these 3 scripts. I already started writing 333. I had already done the Dark House way before the Reeves. I already had the Reeves, and I'm like, okay, I'm still sitting here, quarantined by myself, nothing else. I might as well turn these scripts into books. I was able to turn this into a book, and that's how I was able to write 4 books in less than 4 months.
That's what's up.
It was the pandemic really that motivated me. I honestly believe had I not been quarantined alone, I wouldn't have got that much done. That's why I was able to get that much done in such a short period of time, because there was nothing else for me to do. I was just in a house by myself with an office and a computer. I was just like, okay.
Right. That's how we started this podcast. We had nothing to do. Literally. We needed something to do. So we started a podcast. So
yeah, I think that quarantine turned a lot,
it did.
Pulled a lot of creative juices out of a lot of people.
It did.
It also made stuff expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said it made stuff expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really? Like what, for instance?
The cameras. The equipment we're talking to right now. A lot of this stuff got harder to get because everybody decided they were going to start a podcast.
Literally.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw a lot of that.
Yeah, I guess we got our stuff while it was cheaper.
Or like self tapes, like self-help tapes and videos and stuff like that. Everybody wanted to buy camera equipment because they couldn't go anywhere, so they would just sit in there and make these videos.
And they got to do self-tapes to send off to casting directors because, actually, that was how most auditions were being done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's that. Oh, yeah. I can see, yeah.
Yeah, I've been burnt so many times with cinematographers that want to charge me cinematographer money, but wasn't giving me cinematography work. If I'm gonna pay you to be a cinematographer and I have to take the footage and edit the crap out of the footage because it's like grainy and you don't know your camera settings, and I'm the director. I don't have time to be like,
right?
Are you sure you got the proper settings?
Right.
And it got to the point where when the script was done for 333, and I don't consider myself a cinematographer, and it was like I wasn't confident enough to film the film myself. So I started looking for a cinematographer, and I felt like I just I don't know what it is. I keep getting these cinematographers who don't have their own equipment, so they want to charge your arm and a leg so they can rent equipment. But then it's like, you're not really invested in the story. You didn't take the time to read the script yet. You just want to rent equipment, show up when it's time to show up, and
play with it and don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, and not only that, I had to keep saying to myself, your last films, you hired cinematographers and you had to tell them like where to shoot the camera, like I want this angle, and then when it was all said and done, I was thinking to myself, I could have got a camera and did that myself. Like, what did I pay this person for? So it comes a point where you have to keep telling yourself like, why do you keep putting yourself in the same situation and you beat yourself up afterwards. So I just went out and got my own equipment. I
So you
learned
taught yourself?
cinematography. Yeah, I YouTube is your friend, you know.
YouTube University. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I took some online workshop classes, and it went from cinematography to, you know, people just, you know, not reliable. You know, I had a couple of people for lighting because I wasn't comfortable with lighting. I'm like, okay, that's the one thing I can't skip. I got to get somebody for lighting. Well, I was running into the same situation with lighting. So what did I do? I got my own lighting equipment. Started watching a lot of YouTube videos on lighting. It, you know, went from that to audio, and it's just like I have my own lighting equipment. I have my own audio equipment. I have my own camera equipment, lens. I have everything that you need to film a movie.
That's what's up.
My biggest mistake was my very first film. I hired, you know, I had the script. I had everything in my head how I wanted to play out. You know, I made the mistake of thinking that I can give this information to another individual that I just met, pay him, and he'll take my vision and, you know, shoot a camera, and I'm good to go.
This already sounds like it ended horribly.
I knew nothing about cinematography. I knew nothing about lighting. I knew nothing about audio. Like, I should have known when this guy walked in the door with just a camera and no equipment that this was not going to turn out right. But I was just so naive. My very first film, I just went along with it. And then looking at the end product, it's just like the audio was awful. Like, it, you know, I planned a whole film premiere, an award ceremony, and we had no film. I refused to show the film. So I had to film the entire movie all over again from scratch.
Ouch.
So as I went along, you know, the more experience you get, where, you know, it doesn't matter if you're not a cinematographer. It doesn't matter if you never went to school for lighting. It doesn't matter if you never went to school for audio. It doesn't matter if you didn't go to school to know anything about the production, the pre-production, the post-production, anything that's dealing with film. Just because you're a director, you need to learn all of those things. Because when someone walks through that door and try to you, they can't bullshit you because you already know. You need to know how to do everything, especially if you're investing your own money and you can't rely on someone. You can do it yourself. I can do my own lighting. I can film a whole entire scene, and I can be the gaffer. I can do the audio. I can do that. I can do everything myself. You want to know why? Because it doesn't matter if I can't find this person. It's just like you still need to know how to do all these things. Right. And that was my biggest mistake in the very beginning when I got into filming. I thought that I just want to be a director. I can be a great director. You can't be a great director if you don't know about lighting, if you don't know about cinematography. Some of these cinematographers think cinematography. I got some people out here that really, I came across some people that really think they're professional cinematographers, and they are not. They think showing up and pointing a camera, or where you want me to shoot this, they think that just because you pay them to just point the camera, that's cinematography. That's not cinematography.
I think you just told a story that many directors have all experienced.
That's why I shoot myself. That's why I have a camera in my hand. Even if I'm directing, I always have the camera in my hand. Because nobody's going to know your vision but you, really.
Exactly.
So let's...
and they don't want to know your vision. They just want to know how much they're going to get paid.
Right. Let's talk about your magazine and how did that come about?
Oh, wow. The magazine.
Because I've seen, the covers of the magazine, and you had one of the artists here in Nashville was on a cover of it. I forgot her name, but they got all the way out here to Nashville. So how did that come about, and how long have you been doing that?
Oh, it's crazy. The magazine started with my first film, The Read, because during the filming and production, and then after the filming was like almost done and I put out the trailer and everything, I wanted to promote the film. But not only did I want to promote the film, I wanted to promote my cast members and my film crew. And I was reaching out to a lot of media outlets, and at the time, they was just looking at me like I had 3 heads. Like, who are you? And I couldn't get anybody to like put us in their magazine, interview us. And I went to sleep. I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I should create my own media outlet and promote my own people and promote my own film and create my own magazine and put my own like actors and actresses on the cover. And that's what I did. I came out with my first magazine in October. And how that came about was
October of last year?
October. Oh, no, this was like 4 years ago.
Oh, huh.
I've had this magazine now for 4 years. And, long story short, like, I think in the beginning, people were looking at the magazine. They really wasn't taking it serious, but they saw the consistency, they saw the quality. I'm the type of person, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to see it through. And the magazine just kept evolving, and it just blew up out of nowhere. Like I only started it just so I can promote what I was doing. And I had like a lot of people reaching out to me. Can I be in your magazine? Can I be in a color? How can I be in? And in the beginning, we were just like doing it for free. It's like, you want to be on the cover? Okay. Like, give me your story. What's your story? But, over time, it was just like, okay, like, this is not no, like, kindergarten word cut and paste. Like, it really takes a lot of work, typing these articles and doing the layout and making sure, like, it looks like good quality. And we pay money to keep our magazine going. So we started charging a fee. And we don't charge everybody. Like, for instance, the little boys that, was in Jordan Peele's film, somebody like that, that's a blessing to have him on the cover of the kids magazine.
Right.
So, it started out with just Lv Magazine, and then, it went into Lv Magazine Kids because the kids are awesome. I'm trying to tell you, like, the kids are just, they're so much appreciative. You know what I'm saying? Like, the parents call and the kids will be like, you can see the cute, they'll call on FaceTime, or sometimes they call on the phone and they just like screaming when they get, I just love that feeling.
It just brings good energy.
Yeah. And I wish in the beginning I would have just did a kids magazine, because the kids, to me, like the kids and the parents, I don't really, there's a lot of kids that I put on the cover or inside the magazine if the parents don't have the money. I work with them. But to me, with our magazine, it's not really about the money. But that's the reason why I started my magazine, was to promote everything that I was doing, because nobody would give me a chance. And
the thing about
now to this day,
doing it with the kids, they're going to keep that with them. Mm-hmm. Like when they grow up, they're going to show it to, like when they have kids, they're going to show, this was your daddy when he was 6 and it was on this magazine. Like so it's almost like a collector's item for that person's life.
Right.
So it's actually a really great idea.
And there's a lot of kids, when I tell you, really the kids that are famous now, so to speak, our magazine is their first magazine cover. So when as their careers keep expanding and evolving, like my great grandkids can hold that magazine of that person who's a celebrity when they're 10 years old. This was their first magazine cover. Yeah, that's a great feeling that LV Magazine Kids is like their first ever cover.
Yeah, that's what's up.
When like other media outlets kind of like do their research on them, they go to your magazine first. So it's a nice little promotion for you as well.
I've had some of those media outlets that I reached out to that didn't give me the time of day. Like I surpassed them like 20 times over. And I know they got to be looking at me like, how did she do that? It's hard work. I'm trying to tell you, running a magazine company is a lot of hard work. I have the film. Thank God I have, an awesome team. An awesome team of loyal people that, they stuck by my side, from the very beginning. It's good when you find people that are loyal and stick with you until the wheels fall off. And those are the type of people that I like to surround myself with.
Now, as we wrap this up, I just wanted to end by asking you, what would you like for your imprint to be in film and in media?
My name, Lavern Spruil. I want my great grandkids to be able to, 20 years from now, be able to just Google my name and that's my great grandmother. That's it, just my name. My grandmother did that. I want to leave a legacy for my family because, there's a lot of us Black families where we don't have that. We can't we didn't really have, I'm in my 50s. I couldn't just Google my great grandmother when I was little. So I want to be able to leave a legacy for my, for my great grandkids, their grandkids to look at all the things that I'm creating now for them to look at. I want my magazine to just keep growing and growing and growing. And I'm going to leave this magazine company to my grandson. So, hopefully he can leave it to his grandkids and they could just look at all the great things that I built for them.
Well,
that's why I do everything.
Dude, we can just say a theme of your life is F it, I'll do it myself.
Basically.
Like I'm getting a whole lot of F and I'll just do it myself. And by doing that, you have done quite well for yourself. Wanted to thank you for taking time out to talk to us today.
But can I give a huge thank you and shout out?
Go right ahead.
Leave an interview with a shout out to Felicia Johnson. That's my daughter. She's like the backbone of the entire enterprise that we got going on over here. She inspired me to go outside the box and just started learning all the things on my own, like building websites. And I never knew how to build a website. I know how to build a website now. And, learning any and everything about film, cinematography, lighting and all that. Alethea Gibbs, she's a part of our production team. She's been there through us from the very beginning. She's there through thick and thin. She helps with everything dealing with production. Dashna Kamir, she's one of our writers from our magazine. She started out with us in the very beginning. And she's still there. Those three women, I just want to thank them and give my hats off to them, because without them, I don't know how I can just like keep going with the film, you know, the media production company, the magazine. Those three women, they help everything move along. They are oil to this whole enterprise. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We've gotten a lot of gems from you today.
Yeah.
That's never going to change.
Yeah.
Never. I will read a horror before I watch it. You just send me the book.
Well, you know what? You need to give me your address, because I'm going to send you my books. I think you would love them. My mother don't like horror, but she loved the books.
Yeah, I can read them. I can't watch, because as soon as that music comes on, I'm getting out. But
oh my goodness! You have to come to the movie. You have to come to the film premiere. There'll be a lot of other people in the movie theater,
and they all gonna see me leave.
Oh my goodness!
Each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. I'm gonna turn that horror into a comedy. How fast I get up out of there.
Oh my goodness!
But once again, I am Kevin Mumphrey with my co-host Karsten Hype Ferguson.
Yep.
Victoria V.A. Jones.
Absolutely.
And that is a wrap.